Have you guys noticed how I haven't made any videos at all criticizing Volvo's CEO, and how I haven't made any videos saying that Volvo are going to go bankrupt? Well, that's what happens when you're a CEO who actually does some research before he blabs out of his mouth. That's the difference between a leader and a clown. Many of the CEOs of the biggest automotive companies in the world are clowns. The CEO of Volvo actually knows what he's talking about. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers, and welcome back everyone else. Now, you know what? I just did a workout at the gym. I was really tired. I had a few things that happened today. I was feeling a bit negative. And then I saw what the CEO of Volvo had to say, and I thought, yes, that makes my day. Because when someone says something that makes sense and that's logical and that leads people to understanding what's really going on and doesn't just lie to them because either that person doesn't know what they're talking about or because they just like to make things up to confuse you, well, I enjoy it. I enjoy it when CEOs actually know what they're talking about. The CEO of Volvo predicts that electric cars will very soon be cheaper than gasoline-powered cars. In fact, look at the CEOs of BMW, Stellantis, many automotive companies saying, electric cars will probably never be cheaper than gasoline-powered cars. It costs us twice as much to make an EV as anything else. I mean, the Stellantis CEO, what has he said? He says there will be social unrest and social problems because EVs are so expensive, even by 2030, that there's going to be huge societal problems. This is the kind of nonsense that I love hearing dispelled by the CEO of another company who has an actual clue. That man's name is Jim Rowan. And he says that electric vehicles will reach price parity with their fossil fuel burning counterparts a lot sooner than what other CEOs and other companies are saying. How soon? Only 2 or 3 years away. Now, he's basically saying that in 2 or 3 years, it will be significantly cheaper to have an EV. Why? Well, because the price will be the same to buy it, but running it will be far less expensive. So if you combine those two together, the operating, running costs, charging it, right, with the actual purchase price, well, you're going to have a vehicle that's going to cost you massive amounts less. Massive. It's not even close. Now, Jim, of course, isn't talking about China. I mean, he's obviously very well aware of the fact that in China, we're already seeing EVs for the same price as gasoline-powered cars. So therefore, he's just saying, well, if it's the case in China now, it'll be the case everywhere else within a couple of years. Furthermore, Rowan said, there's no way that any company should be relying on government subsidies to be successful. Surprisingly, he actually used to be a Dyson executive. Now, you probably all know Dyson tried to manufacture a car. They spent billions on it. An EV didn't really work. They actually gave up on that plan. However, he took the CEO position at Volvo at the beginning of the year, and he made these bold claims amid high battery materials costs, the recent passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, and Volvo's launch last week of its flagship electric car, the EX90. The 7-seat EX90, the first Volvo built on an EV-only architecture, sets the Swedish automaker on a sprint to go fully electric by the end of this decade. But to get there, Rowan said Volvo has to get EV prices down as quickly as possible. We think we'll get to parity in 2025. I mean, that's just over 2 years away, where there'll be enough technology that's driving down cost on the battery, Rowan told Automotive News Europe on the sidelines of a media event in Stockholm, Sweden. Technology will drive range up. I've been saying the same thing. Maybe he's watching me. I don't know. Just joking. Technology will drive the range up. Less batteries, more range, less cost. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's right. We will get there. Absolutely, Jim. I'm totally in agreement with you on that. So, my friends, there it is. It's not just the Electric Viking making these claims. The CEO of Volvo is saying the same thing. One interesting thing to remember, right? We've seen an explosion in the cost of lithium. but we haven't seen an explosion in the cost of batteries. I mean, for example, CATL, the world's largest battery manufacturer, their profits have skyrocketed. They're up 400%, right? And they're not selling batteries at enormously high costs. They're not at all. In fact, they're only marginally more expensive than what they were 12 months ago. The reason being, lithium doesn't make up a battery. Lithium is a component of a battery, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It's just one part of the equation. Volvo says that smaller models will help Volvo lower its prices. And yeah, I mean, they have a small model coming apparently next year, but right now they don't have anything that's actually small. Next year, Volvo will reveal their small crossover, which Rowan said will be a city car aimed at a younger demographic who can subscribe to it. The crossover will slot below the XC40, so it'll be a little bit smaller than the XC40 and C40 compact crossovers, and could arrive in the US by about late 2023, according to Auto Forecast Solutions. It's part of a wave of electric vehicle models, including a sedan and two sporty wagon-like models that Volvo are going to release within the next few years. The interesting thing is, right, that Rowan disagrees with industry peers who say that higher battery and raw material costs will increase prices. He's actually, I think, done a bit more work. He's basically saying, yeah, sure, higher lithium costs are going to affect the battery, but the thing is, technology is going so quick that the energy density improvements negate those costs. He said, Renault Group CEO Luca De Meo said this, I do not see this parity getting close. He basically said the Volvo CEO is wrong. I can come up with better battery chemistry and better power electronics, but these gains would be erased when the price of cobalt doubles in just 6 months. Well, here's a suggestion, Renault CEO, don't use cobalt. Guess what? You actually don't need it. There's so many manufacturers making batteries now without cobalt. They've managed to figure it out. Go and buy batteries from them. There's a solution. EV analyst Sam Albasamid said Rowan's price parity target is not unreasonable. A premium brand has more margin headroom, so it can reduce margins on EVs to get parity on the consumer level. In the segments that Volvo competes, it's definitely possible, he said. In more mainstream segments, you don't have that margin headroom to work with. Well, Sam, my name's Sam too, but anyway, Sam, I disagree. In fact, what you just said is complete nonsense. There's only 2 car companies in the world that we know of making profits from EVs. One of them is Tesla, and the other one is BYD. Guess what? BYD sells cars that are affordable, budget priced. The Dolphin, how much does it cost? $14,000 US. Other cars they sell, EVs in that range. They also have small crossovers that you guys probably haven't seen that are around that price as well. And guess what? They're making money on them. It is possible. It can be done. Battery prices have sunk 80 to 90% over the past 12 years. Let that sink in. However, supply chain difficulties and surging demand for raw materials from a rapidly electrifying auto industry have increased battery prices in the past 2 years. But at the same time, energy density in those same batteries and volumetric density has significantly improved, offsetting those costs. And that's the key reason. One of the key reasons why Tesla is still making massive profits from its cars. If battery prices had gone up over the past 2 years, how would Tesla be making a profit? According to Interact Analysis, the average price of a motor for battery EVs, fuel cell EVs, and hybrids rose 26% in 2021, expected to rise again after the 2022 year is over. However, Albasamid expects a pricing pullback as more mining and processing capacity comes online and alternative chemistries such as LFP, lithium iron phosphate batteries, are more broadly adopted. Interesting, isn't it, that Tesla has really kind of, from Western manufacturers, just gone and done it. They got into this a year ago, way before everyone else. And people say, oh, the 4680 cell's wrong, Tesla's battery decisions are wrong, rah, rah, rah. They fail to acknowledge what they've done right, which is to jump on board LFP batteries before everyone else who's not in China, well before everyone else, and to adopt them in order to make a profit and really to provide a product to their customers that is better. Who is one of Volvo's suppliers? Well, one of them is CATL, which is Tesla's biggest battery supplier. They've had success making LFP packs more affordable, and they've just improved the energy density and made structural battery packs, which Tesla will use in its vehicles next year. This will reduce prices for Tesla and potentially for other suppliers and battery makers. The thing to keep in mind though is you need volume. If you don't have volume, then that's a problem, right? If Stellantis or Renault, they only make a small order from CATL, CATL is not going to give them a good price. You need to make a massive order. You need to do what Tesla is doing and buy in bulk, manufacture in bulk. Because a lot of automakers didn't take that gamble, they just made these little orders. They paid a lot more for the batteries. Therefore, their cars are not profitable. A recent teardown of CATL's LFP pack use in Shanghai-built versions of the Tesla Model 3 revealed that CATL's solution was the global leader in affordability at $131 per kilowatt hour, but that should improve next year to close to $110 per kilowatt hour. Volvo said it aims to have its battery pack costs down to less than $100 per kilowatt hour by 25-26. So in other words, 2-3 years from now, prices should be under $100 per kilowatt hour for, well, a lot of manufacturers. Clearly Tesla will probably be getting the cheapest because they'll be ordering the most. That's what I believe anyhow. So how will this affect Americans? Well, how will this affect everyone? But I think importantly, because of the IRA, we should actually address how that will work over there. Now, the federal government's push to expand America's public charging infrastructure is key to meeting Rowan's prediction. The Biden administration has unlocked more than $1.5 billion in funding in 2022-23 to build EV chargers across 75,000 miles of US highways, including interstates and alternative fuel corridors. This program makes $5 billion available over the next 5 years to help states achieve President Joe Biden's goal of 500,000 EV charging stations across the US by 2030. It's a lot of money. That's a great thing. That will drive the adoption of EVs in the US, and it will drive more manufacturing of EVs and more manufacturing of batteries. That will bring the prices down. Now, the Inflation Reduction Act creates a credit for battery cells equivalent to $35 per kilowatt hour of capacity. With battery packs eligible for credit of up to $10 per kilowatt hour, it also provides a 10% credit for critical minerals production. So essentially, the US government is subsidizing batteries by about 20%. That's a pretty big percentage. Volvo's South Carolina made sub $80,000 EX90 partially qualifies for the $7,500 federal tax credit. But household income caps will exclude some buyers from being able to claim the subsidies. But that said, if you're making that much money, you probably don't need the subsidy in the first place. We'll benefit from the act, said Volvo, when we get to the smaller SUVs that we'll bring, Rowan said, because it'll be targeted to a demographic that's got less household income because it's their first car. Volvo clearly are planning on providing more affordable, lower cost EVs in the United States. And not only in the United States, but also in China and all over the world. Personally, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the future. Electric cars are going to be mainstream and the prices will continue to come down. You can book it. Thanks for watching, my friends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, have a great day. Bye-bye.